Hello and welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Nerdist Dave, and today I'm joined by Shail Meta from the Last Gameboard or Gameboard. Is it just Gameboard?
Yeah, well, okay, so officially our company name is the Last Gameboard Inc., and I cannot change that, but the
Yeah,
product is Gameboard.
the product is Gameboard. Yeah.
Product is Gameboard.
If you'd be so kind of introduce yourself and tell people a little bit about you and what you do, that would be awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, my name is Shail Mehta. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Last Gameboard. And Gameboard is a, 17 by 17 inch hardware device. It is a tabletop console. Think Peloton meets Kindle for RPG tabletop board games. We are creating a singular platform for board game play, TTRPG play, honestly anything that allows community physical play space that's available. And it's lightweight, it's thin. I mean, it's like 7.5 pounds. There's Bluetooth microphones, speakers on it, and then you can play with anyone anywhere in the world. So you have a game board, I have a game board, we can play together. You can join me from your phone or from the web as long as the game is originated on Game Board. And we're building it here in Denver. That's where I am.
Nice. So, and what is the size?
It's 17 inches by 17 inches, 22 inches diagonal. So it's actually pretty big. Yeah. And
But
it's
the
a lot
best
of
part
glass.
is if you happen to be independently wealthy, you can string like 12 of them together.
Yeah, exactly. You can literally tile them together and it becomes a bigger play surface. I don't know, man. People buy Wormwood gaming tables and they're not independently wealthy, and we're way cheaper than that.
Yeah, well, that's true as well. But I was thinking like 12 of them. 12 of them is
It's
that's a hefty.
optimal.
Yeah.
That's like good Warhammer 40K terrain right there.
Yeah. Wait, what is it? Wait a minute, 12 of them.
That'd
So
be
it's is
massive.
it 12 total or is it like 12 by 12?
So I okay, that is a great question, but it depends on how you want to do it.
Yeah.
I think the optimal use cases are like 2, 4, 6, 9. But with 9, I think
Yeah.
it gets tricky because how are you going to charge the middle one? So
Oh
it's
yeah.
oh, I think that as long as you have the USB hub in a way that you can plug it out, I think that's optimal. Once we get battery life up and stuff, then it'll be easier to have like crazy builds. But right now, I think 9 is really pushing it.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't even thinking about the charging aspect of it.
Yeah,
And
I
all, like, the amount of power you just have on the table. So we our regular gaming table is a pool table that
nice.
Ted made a top for that we use.
Okay, it's a pool table, so you could do 6.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Uh,
wouldn't need 12. You could do
Yeah, yeah.
4 or 6 would look great.
Yeah, I think like 12 is like a wall, right? Like you could do a whole
Yeah,
wall.
12 would be like literally this. Like I
Yeah.
think you 6 is fine. 4 or 6 would be great for a pool table. That it's that big.
Yeah. Have you put 12 together just because you can?
No, but I think I should try it out just to see what the hell happens.
Yeah, for sure. And then just put like the frog thing on there with the bugs like
Oh my god. That would be awesome actually. I love that. Did you see that little frog?
um which little frog?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about something. There was like a little mini that was like a little frog that was like
Oh
jumping
no,
around.
no, no.
I thought that's what you were talking about. Okay, sorry.
No, no. I don't know if you've ever seen the videos of of like the frog and someone has like bugs on their screen and the frog's trying to eat the bugs,
No,
but it's
okay, but
just a
I want to.
screen. I'm sure
I
I'm
love
sure if
that.
you like look up on YouTube or something, you'll find it pretty easily.
And we can really trip people out with what we do. That sounds great.
Yeah, so that's awesome. But like, so I looked at it from the standpoint of like most of my gaming is RPGs, and like, you know, with the pandemic, I've moved most of my stuff. I'm doing it digitally, even when we play in person now.
Yeah.
Just because I started doing it during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. But I think the thing that people need to understand too is like the game boards are interactive, right? They
Hmm.
have bases that attach to the minis,
Hmm.
so that the mini can move on the board.
Yeah, absolutely. So it could be any mini that you have. So I want, like, when you turn on Game Board, it is like Netflix, right? You have access to a library of games. You just click on whichever game you want to play, the board will become it. You can 3D print your pieces, or you can attach them to these 3D printed bases that we're sending with Game Board as well. So if you don't have a 3D printer, that's totally fine. We will supply the bases for you. And they can be different shapes, sizes. Like, we can see the most smallest touch point up to like big bases. Like, I don't know, if you did 12, you could have like
Yeah.
literally a massive mini or something like that you wanted. The touch, the tech is the board. There's nothing special that needs to go into the actual physical pieces.
So, how is the sensitivity with it? Like, if you're doing stuff on the board, you're using a map. Does
Yeah.
it mess with it?
What do you mean? Like, does it interrupt play?
Yeah, like accidental
No.
touches. Does it? Is it going to interface with it, or does it have to be more intentional? I saw
No,
it. I
it
did
has
not
to
get
be
to
very
play with it.
Oh yeah, it has to be very intentional. So
Yeah.
and everything is like, it's, so there's like, we have a machine learning algorithm and a component, a part of Game Board as well. So it's like the game designs what is the touch input that it recognizes. So if it allows for you to have scrolling, moving around on the map, you can do that too. If your mini only has line of sight, or it only has, if you're doing fog of war or whatever it is, that is the only thing that you'll be able to do. It depends on the game creator. What are they doing in terms of touch, and what are they doing in terms of integration with the minis? So you can't go around like accidentally messing things up and stuff. And more importantly, if you knock off a mini or anything like that, we remember where it is. You can place it back.
Is there integration with any of the VTTs?
Yeah, right now we have Encounter Plus, BattleMap.io, D20 Pro. We are just releasing a bunch more as we talk. I think, yeah, I mean, yeah, any VTT you could probably think of, we're talking to them.
So people will be able to run the games that they're already running on virtual tabletops
Mhm.
on Game Board at their table now.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And people can join in from wherever they are. You need to originate the game on Game Board. That is the requirement. But, what we aim to do is be a single source, a single platform, a single community of play for TTRPG players, for tabletop players. So we are trying to democratize access, make it easy for people to play any sort of system that they want to play. Let the player decide, what's the best experience, and we want Game Board to enable that.
So everyone in the group, like if you're playing remotely, they don't actually
Mhm.
have to have a game board then.
No, they don't have to. Just the person originating the game needs to have a game board, and you can invite as many people as you want, wherever they are, to join and play.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Oh,
Yeah.
and how many games are on there so far?
So we've onboarded an insane amount of creators. Like, I think we're close to 200. But each creator, each developer has a bunch of different games on the platform. So at launch, our target is to come out with around 75 to 100 games, but 75 is kind of like where we're landing at on like the best experiences, because I'd rather have the games feel great and right, and then slowly release them on our platform, because it's a software push for us, right? So we're going to slowly be releasing more and more games as we can, and more. And when I say games, it's easier because if you're compatible with a VTT, they have all of their games on there as well. So it could be exponentially much higher, but just to remain as accurate as possible.
Okay, so if you're using Pro 20 or whatever, it's
Mhm.
it's not just Pro 20 now; it's Pro 20 plus every game that they've already integrated.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So whichever games they want to bring a part of their VTT, they can. And we let them decide, right? Like, we let D20 Pro decide, like, what do you want to bring onto Game Board?
So Game Board, does it have like a marketplace for these creators where they're selling the
Yeah.
games?
So it's we're like Netflix, where it's you push your game or your VTT onto Game Board, and then people pay 15 $15 a month, and you have access to all of it.
Okay.
Um, and developers can do ad hoc. If you just want to purchase, you just want to play Terraforming Mars, you don't want to play anything else, screw all the other games on Game Board, you just want to play Terraforming Mars, then you can purchase that if you want. But we obviously think it's much more accessible to players if they can have their choice. But I get that people are like over subscriptions too, so if you
Yeah.
just want to purchase something, you can.
So you can use Game Board without a subscription then.
Yes, 100%. You can use it without a subscription.
I have Game Board. I have no subscription. What can I do with it? Is it a fancy paperweight?
I wish it would be a fancy, that'd be a big ass fancy paper. Sorry, I don't know if I can say that. But so right now we give a year free subscription. So everything that is on Game Board, anyone that purchases will have unlimited access. You pick and choose what you want to play. So right now we're not holding that subscription as a barrier for people to come and play on Game Board. We want as many people playing on Game Board as possible. There's obviously a ton of free games. You can individually buy games as you want as well.
Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff on there already. Like if I
Yeah.
just want to use it at my D&D table, I can just plug my maps into
Math.
it.
Yep. Yeah, you're good to go.
Nice.
Yeah. We
Um,
have USB-C and HDMI out, so you can, show it on a bigger screen and upload your maps, whatever you want to do.
so you technically don't like you don't like when I was first thinking about this, I was thinking, oh, you plug your laptop into it and you run your game through Game Board through your laptop, but you don't need your laptop.
You don't need it. You can use it. So if you're GMing, you can still use your laptop as well. So we have Bluetooth on Game Board. You can pair it with it as well. But yeah, you can still be the GM on your laptop if you want to. Like maybe that's just something that's ease for you. And then you can, if you have multiple people that have game boards, they can be in different parts of the map. They can be in different, different things can spin up to them. Like it could be very interactive if you were to do that, but you don't need it.
Oh my god, I think my head would explode if they had the ability on their own to be in individual parts of the map.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's what we can do. When you talk about game board to game board play, that is
Yeah.
what is capable.
So what's the response been like so far?
I think Gen Con was really great for us. We brought 8 people to Gen Con and we had 5 game boards. And it was the first time that we were like putting game board out into the public for people to play with. And we had so many people come up. Like we had to take off a game board just so people could go to the bathroom in our team. Like it was insane. We had
Yeah.
a whole host of people coming in and playing on game board. And it was really exciting. We've had a lot of great followers. We've had a lot of great supporters of Game Board from the beginning when I launched the first Kickstarter end of 2019, and they've stuck with us. They stuck with us through a year delay because of pandemic. They've stuck with us through so many ups and downs. And it's been really great to see that people envision what the future of play could be. Because the one thing that resonates so strongly with our players, and I think pandemic definitely accelerated and helped us, so I can't deny that, is that ease of play is so important to people. But then you don't want the focal point to be the screen. You want it to be us. You want it to be us playing. How do we enable that through technology and not have it be the diminishing factor? That in essence is what we're doing with Game Board, right? Community-based social play, interactivity in a different scale, using technology to enhance that. And that has been the best, that has been the best feedback that we've gotten. Is I want to use this to amplify my experience. I want to use this to create a more immersive session. I'm not replacing what I love. I'm creating a better experience of play.
So Brian wants to know, does it connect to Bluetooth peripherals like a player has a stylus or something?
I guess technically, yeah, it has Bluetooth, so you could pair it. Yeah, technically, yeah.
So you could pair it to like a tablet or something like that.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Ooh. Now I probably can't, but Brian might be able to.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, no, you can't. I mean, it's Bluetooth. You can pair it.
I struggle pairing my car to my
Speakers.
phone. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever has a Bluetooth connection, you can do it.
Nice. And what was the inspiration for Game Board?
So, I mean, Game Board is very personal to me. I mean, when you talk, you realize my passion in it, and I'm not, I'm a gamer. I don't come from the industry from the corporate side. I come from the player side, and my family immigrated here from India in the 90s, and I learned English by playing board games. I moved to Manhattan, Kansas. Nobody looked like me. No one spoke my language pre-internet, and I connected. It's like gaming is like math. It's like this great equalizer. You don't need to understand. You don't need to communicate with language. The language is the game. The language is math, right? And you just sit down and you play. And barriers, preconceived notions, all these things are just kind of diminished and you're just playing this game. And tabletop gaming has stuck with me since. I grew up in this world as a player, but my career went in a different way. I graduated political science. Turns out I couldn't do a lot with that degree. I had a minor in finance. I went to be a contractor for the State Department. I worked for the Nuclear Regulatory Committee in DC. Then I went to work in hedge funds and private equity in Manhattan, New York. But this whole time I'm a gamer. Like I love playing D&D. I love playing Magic. I love, just getting together for game nights. And I moved around and I was like, gaming groups would just kind of get screwed up every time I moved around, right? And I was like, why can't I connect and play with people in the way that feels natural? Why can't I use a chess set on an iPad? And that was kind of the question that sparked the tech of Gameboard, is why doesn't this exist? And I ended up speaking with a bunch of professors and, came up with a white paper about how this is possible. And then I met my other co-founder, Rob Wyatt. He helped build the Xbox, like Magic Leap and PlayStation. And I literally knocked down his door with a case of beer. I said, hey, I think I have an idea for a product and there's a patent involved. And he's like, shit, okay, I'm in, let's build this.
Yeah.
So we built so many versions of our prototype and we created a lot. And now we have a team of 22. And, I was saying earlier, it's like a lot of little things that kind of brought Gameboard to life. And every time it was people. I used to go to conventions and just talk to people before I even had a prototype, before I met anyone, and just be like, what is the future of tabletop? What is the future of play? How do you want to play? When you sit back and envision 20, 30 years in the future, how do you want to play games? And that's how I put the pieces and features together of what Gameboard is. It's just by talking to people.
Yeah, we've talked about that in the past, like the future, and it's probably going to be like VR.
I hope not. Sorry.
I know. No, that's okay.
That's true. We have this bold mission at Gameboard that not just gaming, but the future of technology will live at this intersection of digital and physical. I think augmented reality and things like Gameboard, which can bring this hybrid approach to I have analog and I have virtual, and let's bring it together for this amplification of experience, will win. My personal take, I could be 100% wrong, but I think Gameboard is a perfect example of how we can do a hybrid approach beautifully that keeps the reason why we love analog play, the amplification of digital.
So I'll get to your question in a minute. You're a gaming techie. But you kind of answered one of my questions because I was going to ask you if you had a tech background. It doesn't seem so. You actually just had an idea, so you found people with a tech background.
Yeah.
And so then you mentioned AR, right? Like, and I've seen in the gaming space several people come out with different things involving AR where you have to put down discs or something. Is that something that can be incorporated into Gameboard? Where if you have, watching either through your phone or through a set of glasses, the Gameboard itself could be the device that gives off the AR?
Yeah, 100%. Gameboard is a fenced space, or our software development kit is open. You could 100% put an AR game on Gameboard. When I say we are a sandbox, we're a true sandbox. We want the consumer to decide. We want the player to decide what is the best experience. Is AR on Gameboard the best? Is using your minis the best experience? Is playing purely digital the best experience? It is up to the consumer. We are enabling creation and we are enabling connectivity on Gameboard. We are a true sandbox. We do have someone working on an AR game in Gameboard. It's not going to be ready for release. It's going to be further out, but it's, we have a perfect 17 by 17 inch fence space, and you can use your phone to cast stuff. You can interact with minis on the phone as you're doing it. Like, it is truly unlimited what Gameboard can do. It is up to creators how they want to use the tools that we have created.
If I get anything less than the chess game from Star Wars, I'm out.
Oh my God. Everyone's like, I want to play holographic chess. I'm like, I will get there. No.
So you're a gaming techie, wants to know, do you guys expect to have a variety of games of different levels? I love seeing the RPG and D&D, etc., but are there family weight and party games in the pipeline as well as heavy games?
Yes, 100%. We have an 8-title deal with Asmodee, which is much more family and not, there are some strategy games as well, but it's much more casual. We have things like poker and chess and, like we were just playing Texas Hold'em earlier. Like, there's a ton of casual, easy games to like a little bit more hobby games as well, like Ogre, Terraforming Mars, like we have Mystic Vale. Yeah, Gloom. There's so many. But yeah, there's like really heavy TTRPG, VTTs if you really want to get involved in it. And then we have like the whole gamut. Obviously, for us, our heavy focus is on this TTRPG and market right now because they are the most enthusiastic about it. They are the ones that come up and say, "Hey, I've used a TV screen and put it on a dining room table. I've thought about this product." Like it is such easy synchronization with this market. And as we can go up market, reduce the cost of game board, we'll absolutely target more family, more party games, more casual games.
So, what was your entry point into gaming?
Oh shit, my entry point into gaming from a player perspective.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, my gateway game. I don't know. I mean, when you're a kid, you play like all these like smaller. I think Magic was my first like real entryway into a game, and I think I was like 14. I played D&D too, but I didn't. I feel like I played D&D for a while, and then I kind of stopped playing D&D for a while, and then I rediscovered it again as an adult too. So it's. I feel like with D&D, I've had like ups and downs, but Magic has always kind of been a constant.
Nice. So, when is the projected launch? I know you guys have a lot of difficulties because of the world. It's been weird,
Yeah,
and supply chains are wrecked right now.
100%. Yeah. Thankfully, we are venture backed and we were able to, secure a lot of our components and all of that stuff now. Right now, we're waiting for FCC testing to come back to give us a green light in order to ship them out. Developers already have game board. We're waiting to ship out. Like we have all these components and, our contract manufacturer ready to go. We're waiting for certification. We're waiting for logistics to kind of help us out. We've definitely faced delays. I mean, component shortages is obviously an issue. We faced, like
Freaking
shipping.
diodes and capacitors.
Oh my gosh, like it's insane. I'm like, but I get it. You can't pause the world for a year and a
Yeah.
half and expect it to just snap back into place, right? I
Well,
get it.
I mean, you could build better systems.
Yeah, valid. 100% valid. And I could go on a whole tangent about that, but it
Yeah.
is very frustrating
Yeah.
um, to see how hard it is to come back online. But we are going to ship our Kickstarter units in December. No matter what I have to do, we're getting those Kickstarter units out.
Nice.
And if I have to brick it and get it ready for them, because like they've been such great followers and just an immense audience for like a loyal, keep us on our toes, excited audience for us. So I'm going to get Kickstarter units out in December. And then we do a mass production run after Chinese New Year, Q1 of next year, which we are estimating to ship out 12,000 units for.
Oh, nice. That's a lot of
Yeah.
game boards.
It's a lot of game boards. You can pre-order now. We are obviously sold out for this year. But if you order now, you get yours in that 12,000 unit production run, which is what our estimated sale is for next year, which is very exciting.
So, with running a company, do you have time to play games?
Yeah, I call it user testing. We literally just got Terraforming Mars the other day. I think it's how I unwind. Like I've been playing Wingspan for about 2 months right now, and I can't seem to let it go. But I like playing with my kids, and I like playing. I have like a couple of friends that we have a really close gaming group and stuff as well. So I do get time. I don't get enough, but we play a lot of games here. Especially as they're coming on game board and we're testing them and stuff too. So I'm always like, oh yeah, we're doing user testing for 3 hours today.
Yeah. You put the kids to work. That's right.
Exactly. My daughter is obsessed with chess on game board. Like that's all she wants to play all the time. She's like, can you turn on game board? She's 5, by the way. And she is so tech savvy. All she wants to do is play chess on game board.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
She doesn't know what she's doing. She just wants to move it around.
Oh, she just likes moving the pieces around. Yeah. It's going to be the next Bobby Fischer.
Exactly.
So, are you playing any D&D these days?
I have actually with Satine, Phoenix, and Jameson. I'm going to play a D&D session with them. And we're really excited to get that out. Sorry.
No worries. Breathe.
Something got in my throat. I'm alive. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, I am going to play a D&D session with Satine Phoenix and Jameson Stone in the next couple of weeks here. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
nice.
Yeah, it's going to be
They're
fun.
good people. We've been friends with Satine for a long time, and I finally got to meet Jameson in person at Gen Con.
Oh, nice. They're
Yeah.
amazing. They're here in Colorado, which has been amazing.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're local to you.
Yeah, they're local to us. So yeah,
Yeah.
I get to bug them all the time. They've been amazing. So we're actually going to do a little D&D session. We're going to try to do it on Gameboard and see if we can like live stream it out. But I haven't played in a while, so I'm very excited.
Yeah. Nice. What edition did you start with?
Uh I think I started with no, I think I started with 4 when I
Okay.
was 15 or 14 or something like that. If that math makes sense. But yeah, it was okay. And then I think I paid Pathfinder.
Uh huh.
Um and I really like Pathfinder. And then I played 5e like I don't know for the first time maybe 4 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years ago. I mean, it only came out in the latter half of 2014. So
Yeah. I was like, I want to say it was very recent.
yeah. What style of games do you prefer?
I like really heavy strategy board games. So I love playing Arkham Horror. I love playing like the Game of Thrones. I like very heavy strategy games as well. I just played Lord of the Rings, by the way, which was really fun too. That was actually a lot of fun. Although it did take me 6 hours to get through it, which people would tell me that it shouldn't have taken me that long.
Oh.
But yeah, so I
Well,
definitely
who
like
are
them.
they to tell you how long it should take?
I know. I was like, I had fun. It was a
Yeah.
Saturday. It was great. So yeah, I played the Lord of the Rings game, which was really great too. And yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I've only played Arkham Horror once, and it was like a 6 hour game, and I'm like, I never
Yeah.
want to do this again. Like, I'm
Yeah.
glad I did it the one time, but like for me, it's like anything above 2 hours is like I'd rather just be playing TTRPGs. When it comes to tabletopping, I'm such a filthy casual. Like I
What
like
do you like
games.
to play?
Like have you ever played Quarriors?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, and so it's you've probably played like Ascent and Dissension and like deck
Hmm.
builders.
Yep. I
Well,
love deck
instead of
builders.
being a deck builder, it's a dice pool builder. So so so
Oh.
so you have monsters and spells that you use against the other players.
Hmm.
Um and they're represented by dice. So like there's a bunch of cards out on the table in front of everybody, and on your turn you can either, summon monsters, cast spells, or buy from what's out there. And in order to get the better stuff, you have to buy from what's out there, right?
Oh,
And then they go into
interesting.
your pool, and then you get to draw so many dice on your turn, and special rolls will allow you to draw more dice. So
That's really interesting. I like that.
yeah, like if you like dice and you like builder style games, I think most people will like that. And then I like Smash Up, like tons of replayability
Yeah.
and kind of fast. I like fast games, to be honest with you. That I just
Yeah.
I'd rather play
Have
like
you
a
played
bunch of
Azul?
what's that?
Have you played Azul?
No, what's Azul?
Azul is it's not like sequence, but it's like everyone has like different player cards, and it's like dice and interactive, and like you move
Yeah,
around. It's like it's just a math and numbers game. It's really fun, but I think you'd like that. It's quicker.
yeah, I tend to like that kind of stuff. What else?
I'm always like asking people because I'm like, what should I bring on game board? I
Oh
don't know. I
yeah,
don't know
what
stuff.
about Betrayer, House on the Hill?
Oh, I've never played that.
Oh, really? That's another really good one. That is one that can be a little bit
I've never
longer that
played
I don't
that.
mind.
Okay, that you don't mind that. That's really good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I obviously got into like expansion packs of different games and stuff too, which has been super interesting. Because sometimes you like expansion packs when they come into games. Like Catan has like so many different expansion packs and stuff, and like
yeah.
some are okay and some are not that fun. But
I've
it's
never
interesting.
played
Like
Catan.
Catan's fun. I think it's like a very casual, fun game to play. I think it's like I mean I know people are obsessed with Catan. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not
I mean, I've
talking
seen
about
it
it that
played
much.
enough times, and same with Risk. Like, I've never played Catan. I've never played. I don't think I've played Risk.
Risk is fun too. Risk is like yeah. I mean it's not deep strategy, but it's
Yeah,
strategy. It's there.
strategy. Yeah,
It's not like Lord of the Rings strategy, but it's there.
yeah. What is the Lord of the Rings game? I had not seen that one yet.
I mean, it's ideal for like a two-player game. It's a
Yeah.
campaign. Like you set up a scenario, like, you could be like you can be the fellowship, and you're based, it's literally like Lord of the Rings, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of strategy. You have to think through where you want to position people, like what resources you want to collect, like how and when you're going to attack an army. And I think that's why it takes a long time, because like the first time you play it, you really get into, me personally, like you really are trying to think through, like even, how you're forming, how you're forming your characters and how you're going to play on the actual map. And it's really big. Like it took up
Yeah.
our entire dining room table. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You said you had a 5-year-old. How old's your other child?
He is almost 1 year old.
Oh, he's not quite ready yet. Everything in the
No,
mouth.
he's not ready. No, he's everything. Yeah, like literally, he just takes everything and put it in his mouth. I've been playing Chicken Coop with my daughter.
Uh-huh.
I've been playing, which is a Kickstarter one that I got, Exploding Unicorns. I'm totally butchering the name.
What is it?
Is it Exploding Unicorns?
I don't. That sounds like it should be a game. I know there's definitely exploding kittens.
Exploding Kittens, but this is like something about unicorns. Anyway, she's
Yeah.
obsessed with it. We got it on Kickstarter, and it had like this golden carrot, and I'm totally butchering the name, and I'm so sorry, but it's
Yeah.
a very beautiful game, and she loves playing that too.
Oh, another good one then is probably like Killer Bunnies.
Killer Bunnies, I love Killer Bunnies.
Yeah.
Killer Bunnies as you're drinking whiskey is a lot of fun.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the other one by Looney Labs? They have a bunch of them.
Yeah, Looney Labs is so legend.
It's not the pyramids, but they're all cards. I forget the name of them. They have a bunch of different ones. They're a bunch of licenses too.
They do. They have a ton.
Yeah.
I've played. I was just telling. I've been playing Wingspan for like 2 months, and I can't shake it.
What is Wingspan?
Wingspan is by Elizabeth Hargrave. I think Stonemaier Games did it. It's about birds, but it's about like nesting. It's just really fun. Like It's just beautiful. I think the game is really beautiful. Like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It has some dice components to it. It is faster too, by the way. I think you'd like that.
Yeah, I probably would like that aspect of it. I just don't have as much time for like tabletop games. It's like, TTRPGs consumes a lot of my hobby time.
I'm sure.
And then like a couple kids trying to make it to the gym, running a business does not leave a lot of room for other hobbies.
I know. That's why it's like I feel like a lot of testing and a lot of things that I do on here with the games that I play are user testing for Gameboard and trying to figure out like, terraforming Mars and stuff like that from Asmodee. And then we played Carcassonne, which is always fun. And I hadn't played that and it's really fun and easy, but that's a nice game. So most of the time when I'm playing, it's like I'm trying to do a lot of research and figure out what's going to be good for Gameboard, and how to best bring it on.
How many testers do you have going right now?
It's everyone in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're always like testing games on Gameboard.
Is there a favorite game thus far for testing?
No, I mean, so we are very, I'll be really transparent. We are a very critical team when it comes to gameplay on Gameboard. And we are nitpicking every part of it.
Yeah.
It's less fun and more tactical when we're testing games on Gameboard as a team. So we're kind of like, oh, I don't like this. Mainly me, I'll be very honest. I'm like, oh, I hate how this works. Like, oh, this isn't flowing naturally. Like that's literally what we're doing internally. We're not, everything is like, how can we make this better? How can we push the limits of this? How can we incorporate the tech better? So it's like we're on the other side of it where we're very, very critical about the games on Gameboard.
So Naomi says, is it unstable unicorns?
Unstable unicorns. Yes, it's unstable unicorns. Thank you. I said exploding unicorns, which is,
if it's not a game, it probably will be eventually.
It's like and they go up and that it's like a rainbow thing. Yeah, it's unstable unicorns. I just see it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised if there isn't an exploding one as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Because I think after Exploding Kittens did so well, I think there was like a run of different exploding games.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Exploding Kittens is fun.
Yeah. So, what is kind of like one of the big picture goals for Gameboard? Like after you get it, start getting it out, where do you want to go in the future with it?
I want Gameboard in every house in the world.
This should be easy
I
enough.
that should be easy, right?
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
easy task. You know, I think for game board, content is always king. And for us, the more games we can bring onto game board, the more that we can push the limits of our technology, the more engaged we can make people as we're playing. That's when we'll truly feel like we're doing something really well. We always want to be pushing the status quo. You know, I'd love to figure out how to do more AR games. I'd love to figure out how to, you know, we have unlimited touch on game boards. So if you think about how you interact with an iPad or a touchscreen today, you have maybe 10, 20 inputs of touch, right? And they're usually single. Sometimes they can be multi-touch, but it's very limited. The bigger you get in scale, the laggier that touch becomes, and the more harder it is to integrate on game board. We have unlimited touch, right? Multiple people can be touching game board at the same time. We recognize even like the bottom of this space, we can see it on game board. We truly have something that is paradigm shifting when it comes to touch technology. And we want to scale that. We want to get better at it. We want to get more accurate. We want to get faster. And that's what we want to focus on. How can we deliver better games that bring that idea of like, let's sit around and play together and use game board to enhance that. Let's make it more immersive. So we're always going to be expanding the platform and the library. And I want to continue to bring the price of game board down. And this is something I feel like I get this question a lot. Game board's expensive. I get it. If I could bring the cost down, that is what it is to the consumer. We actually don't make money on the hardware, right? And if I was Microsoft and I could lose $100 on everything, I would, but I can't, and I'm not. So I would love to bring the cost of game board down, and we will. And it's just a matter of scaling. It's a matter of delivering more units and bringing that cost down.
Is there like a per unit goal that kind of gets you there that you're like shooting for?
Sure, I'd tell you, but I'm not going to say it publicly.
Okay, okay. Well, that makes
Yeah,
sense too.
yeah, no, but yeah, there is, and we can get there. That's why I'm saying that with a lot of confidence. Like
Yeah.
we can get the cost of game board down. It's just a matter of sales and units. And once game board is out, that's when we can truly hit the accelerator on getting more and more units out. So 12,000 is just the first benchmark. We're going to get a lot more units out, and we're really going to focus a lot more on that user experience as we roll forward.
So Naomi says, if Game Board can do audio game instructions, that would be awesome.
Yes, it can. So we have microphones and speakers on game board. So we're working with certain companies as well to kind of bring immersive sound. I think for accessibility, even though it's going to be great, right? There's a lot of open SDKs about voice over integration. We are actually talking with a few companies to kind of integrate that, because we don't want to build that because that's like a whole other product. So we're working with some other companies to kind of take a little bit more control over how people can talk to a game or have, voice direction based on the game and stuff. But yeah, at the very basic level, you have a game board, I have a game board, we can talk to each other, we can, hear each other as we play on game board. But I agree with you, it's going to get better as we roll along.
So have you talked to game stores?
We are rolling out an FLGS program, which I think they will be surprisingly happy about.
Yeah.
We are a very experience-based product, right? When you play an experience game board, you get it. I could sit here and until I'm blue in the face talk about it. When you have a new technology like we do, that experience-based style of play is extremely important. And partnering with FLGS is going to be huge for us. Get people in the store playing around on game board, showing them what it means to have that amplified vision that we're trying to create. That's going to be everything. So we are going to roll out an FLGS program. My first mission is to get these Kickstarter units out. And then at Q1 of next year, that's when we're going to really roll out this program in a bigger way, where people can go into your local game stores and figure out how to, figure out what it means when we say pair your mini, bring your own mini and 3D print an object and all that kind of stuff, and what that ease of play is really like.
Yeah, I feel like I saw it on Kickstarter, when it was released, and I was like, eh. And then I saw it, but when I actually saw it in person at Gen Con, I was like, oh, wait a minute, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard I can share my vision and I can share it, but people buy it for very different reasons. And when you can feel it, you can touch it, you can play games, you see what we are talking about by this hybrid approach of physical and digital. That's when we had people, purchasing 4 units when they saw it 2 minutes ago at Gen Con, right? Like it's that kind of mentality that is really going to showcase and create that community of game board. As soon as these units get out, people playing on it, sharing their own reviews, sharing their own thoughts, how can we make this better? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? Right? Like that's what we want, is how can we constantly improve, because we're not going anywhere. We're building a product to really, really help people play better. That's so sappy.
Well, no. I mean, experiencing it, and also like tabletop games. Whether you're playing D&D or something else, they bring people together and they give us something that they make us more social in a time when we seem to be getting better connected but less social, right?
Man, ADHD, depression, suicide,
Yeah.
anxiety are all being attributed to gaming and isolation trends, right? And especially amongst the youth. How do we create technology? How do we create environments where people are engaged more? We are more connected, just like you said, now than ever, but we are so alone. How do we use gaming to foster those connections again? And I think that as entrepreneurs, it's our responsibility to not just complain about it, but to create a solution. And that's what we're doing with Gameboard.
Parks is asking the really important questions here. Can I
Yeah.
virtually flip the board for those Monopoly rage quitters?
Oh my God. I've actually asked for a chaos mode on Gameboard where you can go like this or just like shake it and then like the pieces go off. But yes, that's absolutely coming. Yeah.
I can see.
A dial.
I'm just imagining the designers' faces when you ask for that.
Um, Jennifer Purcell is our head of product, and she is amazing. And I will literally go up to her and be like, in Minority Report where he does this dial thing, I want that on Gameboard.
Yeah.
that is, I feel like in my mind, like this is what we can do with like touch. Like, how can we push the limits? Like, how do we have chaos mode where you can like flip the virtual board and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, what can we do to really make this fun and interactive? And yeah, they're usually like, Shail, you can't just come in here and just give us random ideas and throw us in a corner. Like, let's plan this out. Let's figure this out. But yes, that's coming.
I was going to say, from listening to you talk, there are some advantages to not being the person that technically has to do it, because those people aren't going to think like that, because they think of all the reasons why you can't do it until someone like you is like, I want to do this thing, and they're like, can we do that thing? And then, and then it pushes them in that direction instead of having this preconceived notion of, no, we just can't do that.
I feel like my job is to take what the engineers do and translate it into real world speak, and then to always challenge the limits of technology
and give them agita.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. I agree with you. I agree. I think that it's very, I think what we're building is so intricate, and we have the most amazing talent on our team. But you always need people that can come from the player perspective, that can come from that vision, that grander vision, and make sure that people are building something towards that end goal. Because you can engineer a product to death. If you are not embarrassed by the first product that you released, you waited too damn long. Like, let's iterate, let's move, let's break things, let's get people to give us what they love and hate about Gameboard, and then we can make it better.
Yeah, one of the things I was thinking, like when I was asking about game stores, I was like, I mean, it'd be great to have it in game stores to have people be able to use it and touch it, but also like it's a bit of an investment for a game store to put out for people to use it and touch it.
I will tell you this. So initially, the cost of Gameboard, I get it, sticker shock, right? But for someone like an FLGS store, the thing that actually makes a lot of money is predictable revenue, right? That is what we're offering with Gameboard. We have a $15 a month subscription. If you are as an FLGS, and this is part of the program that we're going to roll out, you get a cut of that. You are getting predictable revenue from consumers as they come into the store. that is the future of commerce, right? Like that is why people are doing so well with these subscription models, is you're able to scale better, you're able to predict better. And for, my dad had an Indian store. He still has an Indian store here in Boulder. I know what it's like to have a small business, and I know how much every paycheck, every consumer, every customer that walks to the store, how much we're relying on that like sale that they make. That's the background I come from. So providing the ability to give predictable revenue and understand your consumer base and amplify that does a lot of benefit. And yes, initially, oh, holy shit, it's a $700 product, but think about the long-term benefits of what they're doing, of what we're doing.
No, absolutely. And we were talking, you're kind of breaking it down like, it's not just a screen. It's all the software involved in the screen.
And hardware.
It's a big ass tablet.
Yeah, it's a computer.
Yeah.
It's a computer that we have built. This is not a TV screen. This is not, this is a tablet. It's a console. There's hardware and software and so much involved in it that is, you cannot replicate what we're doing in any existing touchscreen, in any existing console today. You cannot.
What has there been any like unexpected uses for it so far? I guess it's not really out there yet for really to see, but even amongst your own team.
Yeah, we get a lot of weird requests.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, can I put this on a wall? Can I use this as an external TV monitor? I'm like, wow, you're paying a lot of money if you want this as an external TV monitor. Like, this is not.
Yeah, you can get a really big TV for that.
Yeah, I'm like, if you want a screen, you can get a screen. If you're looking for a console, a computer to really connect tabletop and be a single point of platform, that is what Gameboard is.
Yeah.
But I think I think the coolest things have come from the game developers. Like, we have a game developer who's working on this like race car game. And it's like the screen is black and like there's a car moving around and your cell phone is the joystick. And as it moves, like different terrains come, and it's like unlimited, right? Because like the screen is just moving, it's animated, it's interactive and stuff. And so he was like pushing us to be like, oh, well, I want to do this with the touch. I want to do that with the touch. And we're like, actually, absolutely, we can do that. So it's about like pushing the barriers and limits of what we're capable of. We tell our developers, give us something that you think we cannot do, and we'll try to do it. Like, that is how much of a sandbox we are. We turn to our developers to inspire and create how to use our technology more better.
Has anybody stumped you guys yet?
No.
That was a very, very quick and assertive no.
No. Yeah. If it's a question of like, oh, can I do holographic tech on Gameboard? Then I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But I don't think anyone's asking that yet. I think it's me asking for that yet.
Yeah.
Again, me pushing the limits and trying to take everyone as far as we can with it. But I think that from game developer standpoint, like, I think that is my ultimate challenge. Like, challenge us, push us, like, give us something that you think we can't deliver.
That's pretty awesome and exciting. So, my takeaway, and I think, other people should look at this too, when comparing it, they have to compare it to make sure you're comparing it to like an Xbox or a PlayStation.
100%.
Not a screen, not a TV.
No, 100%. We compare us to Sony, compare us to Microsoft, and then remember, we're a startup. Think about where Oculus was, 10 years ago when they launched. Think about where Magic Leap still is today. And we have created a hardware software console in a matter of 2 years. Like, that's insane, right? With a global pandemic, with supply chain, we're an extremely talented group of people, and we have a very strong vision for what we're building. And that is how we're able to do this and scale this as efficiently as we can. And we're going to continue to make it better. But yes, compare us to a computer. Compare us to things that are pushing the limits of gaming technology.
So Parks wants to know, does it have a built-in projector for putting maps and whatever up on the wall? It is the wall.
It is the wall. We have a USB-C, so you can and an HDMI out, so you can connect it to a larger projector, or you can connect it to a larger screen to showcase it. But then again, it also has Bluetooth and Wi-Fi as well. So if you want to almost Chromecast it onto a bigger screen, you can.
And so I guess if you connect to like a VTT and everyone's connected to it, then everyone kind of has access to the board that's out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Bear with me. I'm a little slow and I'm trying to wrap my head around it.
No, you're fine. Yeah, absolutely. So if people are connected, like if you're DMing and you're using a VTT that you're using, you can use it from your computer and someone else is playing on game board or there's two other people playing on game board. You can still control everything, but you can control like, line of sight. You can create like where the maps are moving, where the minis are moving. You can even do it on an individual basis if there are multiple game boards in the room and stuff or wherever they are in the world.
So
As a, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, as opposed to using tokens like most VTTs do, um, you would be able to replace them with minis. And
Mhm.
would that still interact with the VTT the way your token
Yes.
would?
Yeah, you would see the token on the actual screen that doesn't have the game board, but the person that has the game board is using the real minis.
Okay. Evil Silly Putty wants to know, how durable is
Oh,
it?
fun.
How hard can I slam down the Colossal Dragon mini?
Okay,
The
so
Colossal Dragon mini is pretty big.
I was gonna say I think it's really big. So we have it's soda lime glass on game board, so you can
Yeah.
you can
Yeah. Yeah.
throw shit on it. But yeah, you can test it. But uh, you can, it's like scratch resistant. You can like drag things around on it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, if you submerge it into like a bathtub, it's not going to work. But yeah, you can like spill water on it, all that kind of stuff. You're going to be fine. But like the colossal mini is pretty big. If you want to slam it
It is like,
down,
if you look
depends
over
on
my
how much
shoulder,
your force is.
if you look over
Oh
my
shit.
shoulder, you can see it. They can't see it because the box cuts it off.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see it. I mean, I don't know. Let's try it out.
The base would take up a big chunk of
Yeah.
the board, I think.
Yeah,
Just
it would.
but that's a size. They don't even make that size for D&D anymore.
What's the upper limit size now in D&D?
So, well, so they just recently put out a Tiamat mini that is comparable in size to that one.
Hmm.
Um, but like, so before they had a colossal size,
Yeah.
and now it tops out a gargantuan. Anything bigger than that is just that, right? And I
It's
think
just okay.
the colossal was 8 by 8, so 1 inch
Oh shit.
squares. Yeah,
It's pretty big. I mean, it would just take up the whole space though. Like
it
where the
would
hell are you
take
gonna
up
move?
most of the board. Yeah, but also it's supposed to be a big
Unless
ass
you had
dragon.
12.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Unless you
I
had
think
12 game
four
boards.
of them you're pretty good. You're
I
solid.
think four is really good. I think 4 and 6 is going to be great if
Yeah,
you're doing
yeah.
like big terrains and big maps and stuff. But then the maps, like remember you can like scroll the
I
maps
think
and
I'm
all
going to
that.
need 4 of them for when I run D&D in the castle.
I love that. Yeah, I think 4 is going to be perfect.
Yeah. So, speaking of which, how do we carry these things around?
Oh, Game Board has a little carrying strap with it. So the case itself has a little carrying strap to it.
And how many game boards can we put in one case?
You can put one in one case. You can't put like 4 in one case. You get a case for every single game board.
I think the case that holds 4 is optimal.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. We are working on and it's not going to be ready this year.
And then you
but
just got to
we're
sell
gonna
4 packs.
Yeah, sell 4 packs. We did sell 4 packs last year, and people got a killer deal on them. That was like right when pandemic was like no one had no idea what was going on with it. So anyone that bought a 4 pack got a killer freaking deal. And just for the record, even though the cost is going up for us, we are not asking anyone to pay for any makeup. Like if you got the price of Game Board at Kickstarter, that's what it is. Like we'll never go back on like the price we sold it for you at, even if the cost goes up for us. But we're working on a carrying case, which is my point of my conversation, some sort of carrying case for like larger game boards and stuff too.
Yeah, the 4 pack, that was not a bad price at all on the Kickstarter.
No, great price. Yeah.
Next time. I'll be there.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Naomi wants to know, kind of in conjunction with Evil Silly Buddy's question, is it Angry Kid resistant?
Yes, it's anger kid resistance. My 5-year-old has spilled a lot on it. You can't really like it's 7.5 pounds. Like it's very hard to like push off or whatever,
Okay.
like all that kind of stuff too. But we have done some sort of testing where it falls to the side and all that kind of stuff. Like we try to break game board all the time to see how much it could like resist. So that's all fine. Again, if you drop it from like, I think like 4 feet or something like that. But it depends on like how you drop it and stuff like that too. So we do have protection. We do a 1 year full warranty on anything that happens with Game Board. We also offer, it's like our version of Apple Care. If there is any damage or anything that occurs, like we do offer protection around that too. So if you do have a kid who like slams it down or something like that and it just goes to shit, we'll send you a new one.
So Naomi wants to know if we connect 4 game boards, it'd be cleaner to have just one power cord.
Yes. I can't get there right now, but yes, absolutely. So the way that 4 game boards work is you touch them together. So there's no wires to connect the game boards. It's like Chromecasting. So you just touch them together to power them. If you were to have one power source run 4 game boards, you would have to have then a wire that syncs to all 4 game boards. And that just becomes very, it just becomes very complicated to do. So our solution is to have a more robust battery on game boards.
So, how long is the battery life?
Right now it's 2.5 hours. You can add.
Is that like 2.5 hours or like Apple 2.5 hours?
Well, it's our 2.5 hours. If you look at the specs, it says 4. So I'm being really honest and saying 2.5 because you never know, right? So I think 2.5, like as you're playing a game, is the best way to go about it. You can connect external battery sources as you want. Like I said, we have USB-C and all that kind of stuff. But to add more battery, the cost of Game Board would have just gone up right now. So that's where we settled on the 2.5. And as we go up market, we'll get better battery life on Game Board.
You just need like charging plates that they can all fit on.
You know, someone said that to me at Gen Con. They were like, oh, what if I designed like Qi charger mats for you? And I was like, well, I've explored this, but if you can come up with a cost efficient way to do it, I'll sell it on our marketplace, right? Yeah. Like, because Game Board, the case of it has a mat on it. And it'd be awesome if that was like almost like one of these little Qi charger.
Yeah.
My cell phone one, but yeah.
I have no idea how any of that works. But
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like what Apple does. You know, it's this and it's a charger, there's a coil in it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you could do that on a mat and stuff. Again, that's like another product and a distraction for us. I think in the future we'll definitely do it.
Yeah, I guess after you start rolling out and you're well into production, you can think about branching out to other products.
Yeah, exactly. Like add like easier things to, you know, make it more better to charge, and like placemats that have powering things. And, you know, a dice roller is something that I always wanted to come out with as well. We have like this dice bowl reader to use generic dice on Game Board. Right now we're partnering with a Bluetooth dice company. So you can use Bluetooth dice on Game Board.
Is it the Pixel dice?
So we're under a lot of NDA, so I can't tell you the name of the company.
Okay, I've only seen one, so I don't know if there's a bunch of Bluetooth dice companies out there or not.
There's a few actually. Yeah. There's a few that have come out. We thought about doing them ourselves, and then it was like, this is crazy. How do you balance it? How do you charge it? And then if you change out the battery, are you going to load the dice? Like, I don't know. We went down a rabbit hole, and then we're like, oh, we're not doing this. We're just going to partner with people who figured it out already.
No, I am a big fan and a proponent of that. Like, working with people that are already experts at doing the thing.
Yeah, agreed. But yeah, I think, but you can, like on your phone, you can like shake dice and then throw them on Game Board and stuff. And then you have digital dice on Game Board and stuff too. So we've solved for it in that way. But yeah, using real dice, like your actual D20 or your, whatever dice is plural. English is my 4th language, so I always butcher this. You can just roll it into a dice bowl.
You say your 4th language?
Yeah.
The plural would be dice because it's a die is singular.
Die singular dice. Yeah. Dice bowl reader.
But I'm not going to bust your chops because I barely speak one language, let alone 4.
English is a very difficult language, and when I ask questions, I don't get a lot of like colloquialisms and stuff like that. Sometimes like, people will make like things. I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? And they're like, I don't know. People just say it.
So, how many languages do you speak? Just the 4, or is there more than 4?
No, I speak Gujarati, Hindi, Urdu, and then English.
Yeah. What language do you think in?
That's a great question. You know, my husband says I dream in Gujarati, which is
Uh-huh.
my it's my mother tongue, or it's so I was born in Gujarat, and I feel like I think in Gujarati a lot.
Is it? Do you talk in your sleep? Is that why he says that?
Yeah, he does. He's
Yeah.
like, sometimes he's like, you just like speak in Gujarati. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's like there was a movie in the '80s. I think it was called Firefox, and it was this like Russian jet that they stole that worked like it was operated through via thought, but you had to think in Russian. So they
What?
needed a pilot that spoke fluent Russian and could
Oh,
think in
that's
Russian in
awesome.
order to operate it.
That's kind of cool. That like reminds me of like what Elon Musk is doing with like the cerebral implants.
Oh, I didn't know he was doing. He should not be doing anything with cerebral implants. I don't trust him.
No, he's like, it's fine. You just go into a surgery for 6 hours. And I'm like,
Yeah,
that sounds like a
yeah.
brain tumor waiting to happen, but
I don't
okay.
want any billionaire putting cerebral implants in anybody.
Why the hell would I trust you? I barely trust the car,
Yeah,
let alone implanting something in your body. I'm like, this is insane.
yeah.
This
But
is, I'm
that's
like,
why like now
I,
whenever someone mentions like speaking in various languages, I'm like, well, what language do you think in?
I know, you know what? Someone, actually, I was talking to another founder, and she has this really incredible. It's called Base, so it's like Everlywell, but it's for. There's a lot of cognitive analysis that they do too. And she asked me, she goes, because I don't know why we were talking about dreams. She's like, "Can you control your dream?" I said, "Yeah." I go, "I didn't realize like how unique that was
Yeah,
until I started talking. Like when I was like, when you're a kid, you just don't realize that it's something that you can do. I'm like, I don't understand why people have nightmares. You can just change your dream." And she was like, that people no, like it's she's like, I've only talked to 3 people, and she studies dreams where it's like you can just kind of like change how you're thinking
yeah.
as you're sleeping. But it was interesting. Me and her got into a very fascinating
Is that the same
conversation
as
about
lucid dreaming? Does that mean you're always lucid dreaming? Dreaming?
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit like that. You're still hitting REM the way that she was explaining it to me. I don't know enough about this, so
Yeah,
please don't take my 100% word on it. This is a conversation between me and her. But it's
yeah,
like it's how you're thinking. You're still hitting REM, but it's this ability to have some sort of awareness. Like it's almost like meditation. People meditate and do different things like to achieve that sort of like connection. And some people do it in their dreams. Like it's weird. So it's not like super rare, but
yeah.
it's rare.
Nice. Well, we are just past the hour mark already.
Awesome. And we ended on me talking about controlling dreams.
Yeah, I want to just ask one more question and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah.
So can you draw on it?
Yeah, we actually have a Pictionary that we were playing around with.
Nice. So like say I just want like white grids and I want to draw the map as we go. I could just do that.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. So with that, final thoughts before we head on out.
Awesome. Our beta is live. Join us on beta. Sign up for Gameboard. We're going to have influencers playing on Gameboard, and they'll be able to invite you to play. So sign up for our beta at lastgameboard.com.
Links are in the description as always. Thanks for coming on, Shail. Until next time, everybody, stay nerdy.
Thank you.